Start that again. Welcome everyone, Robin Peel here from Community Futures East Kootenay, and really great to welcome you to the Social Enterprise Showcase. As I said, I am the Community Economic Development Manager with Community Futures East Kootenay, based in Fernie on Kukuna Marcus, the land of the Raven, and very fortunate to be able to live here on the unceded and traditional territory of the Tanaha Nation. So today we're talking social enterprises. I really want to thank ETCBC, the Economic Trust of the Southern Interior, for funding this pilot program. The aim was to build the capacity for the non-profit sector in the East Kootenay to really enable organisations to look at developing social enterprises, to look at diverse and sustained funding. And we really want to support the entrepreneurial mindset of the non-profits in the region, and to really, by doing that, support the economic growth in our local communities. So that started off with 6 months of roundtables that was facilitated by an organisation called Purple, based out of Kelowna. We had 18 organisations sign up to those 6 community of practice roundtables, which was great to see. And then organisations were invited to apply for this 4-month incubation program with Impact Toolbox. 6 organisations were selected and 4 organisations completed the program, and we're so excited to hear from them today. And it's so great to have so many of you here to hear about that process as well. So we've got an hour and a half. I'm going to do a quick introduction myself. I'm going to hand it over to Shagan from Impact Toolbox, and then we're going to hear from the 4 social enterprises in our communities. We'll then have about a 20-minute breakout where you can go and talk to those 4 social enterprises in more detail, and we'll kind of come back for some closing remarks at the end. As I said, obviously this is now recorded, which is great. So we will, if you have to leave at any point, we will have the recording that we'll share out afterwards as well. So what is a social enterprise? Do we all know what this thing is that we're here about to talk about today? So a social enterprise is an organisation that seeks to achieve social, cultural and environmental aims through the sales of goods or services. And so it really uses those principles of entrepreneurship and for-profit practices to really pursue that public benefit. And it can be a for-profit, it can be a non-profit, but the main thing is that any profits that are derived are directed back to a social objective rather than a shareholder or an owner. And for me, the biggest focus of social enterprises is the impact, and that's what we're going to hear about today. What difference do these organisations make in our communities? And I really like this spectrum, thanks to Purple for this. It's kind of just showing that those organisations with the highest social value are on the left of the spectrum, and those with the highest financial value on the right. So for example, charities are on the far left. They're kind of the closest to the end with social value. That's what their whole purpose is to do. And they are dependent on philanthropic dollars and grants. So they're actually using financial value created by others, not creating that financial value themselves. And then on the other end, we have obviously corporations, and they obviously provide social value through jobs and hopefully paying living wages, but really their prioritization is on creating financial value. And of course, there are lots of businesses with corporate or social responsibility, or in our small communities, a lot of businesses give away a lot of, some of their money to causes in their areas. And that's, great to have that social value that they provide, but actually their main aim is often on the financial. So what we're talking about is kind of those organizations in the middle, those enterprising non-profits, those co-ops that are really looking at trying to have earned revenue, but their focus is still very much on the social value. Why they exist is to have that social value. They're just using that money to create and make more of that social value. So really their focus is on the impact that they can have in their communities, and that helps them lead the way. So obviously working for Community Futures, my focus is on rural, and every community I touch is a rural area. And I think we have to be aware that sometimes in our rural areas, the financial reward for providing a service might be kind of marginal. So there might not be many for-profit businesses wanting to provide that service. But when we start looking at maybe the social or the environmental values, not just the financial, it can potentially be important for us to have those services in our communities. I believe that social enterprises also create resilience. They empower our community members to affect change. We're going to hear from four, of those community members today who are starting to affect that change themselves. And they are rooted in our local communities, locally owned, aware of local needs, and really help to contribute to the vibrant local economies and our larger community goals where we are. And I kind of believe that the entrepreneurial culture that is created around social enterprises is arguably one of the most valuable results. It inspires creative, solution-focused problem solving, and it really helps address those needs in our communities from within our communities rather than from outside. So, true community economic development in action. But as any entrepreneur will tell you, running a business isn't easy. It's a lot of hard work, there's risk, there's lots of things involved. And I know that a lot of nonprofits, a number of are on the calls today, are hearing the benefits of diversified revenues and want to set up a social enterprise to really support those sustainable operations. And that's amazing. But I think we also need to be really aware that it isn't a magic bullet. It isn't going to quickly fix those funding changes, but it is definitely a potential way to support the sustainable ongoing needs of our sector and our community needs. I think it's important that they do offer control over income, social enterprises, rather than having to be dictated by potential funders. And hopefully we'll hear from that today, how some of these organizations are generating that income. I think the other thing I'll finish off with is that social enterprises maintain meaningful employment and training opportunities, creating some real wealth for community members who may be undervalued in our current labour market, and again can really help in our rural communities think about the diversity of the employment needs within it. So I'm going to hand off to Shagan to take on next. I am still controlling the slides, Shagan, but I'll go on to the next one for you, and you can let me know when to move on.
Thank you, Rodney. So glad to be here today. And just want to start by reiterating what Robin already said. What makes these enterprises unique is the fact that they balance financial sustainability with doing the most good that they can in the world while also protecting the environment. And I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Shegun, and I'm one of the co-founders at Toolbox. I'm kind of excited to start us up with just reflecting on the data right in front of us. Across Canada, social enterprises in 2023 generated 4.7 billion in revenue. They employed 9,400 people, and they paid as much as over 300 million out in wages. So they are not just doing social good, they are actually really strong, innovative vehicle for economic development. Close to home in Vancouver, we'll see what happened in 2019. So this trend is not just a recent surge, it's been around for a while, and other cities and other bigger parts of our communities are leveraging this opportunity. And I hope this will kind of call our attention to what social enterprises can do for our rural communities across interior BC. The needs that we've seen for people who want to start social enterprises is that they often don't have the sufficient entrepreneurship capacity, and the mindset shift from grants to revenue generating activities. And they also kind of face challenges in terms of planning all of it out. And they definitely need access to coaching and mentorship, which are often unaffordable to people who are just starting up. So this is why we do the work that we do. We don't believe that financial sustainability and doing good in the world cannot coexist. So this is why we help everyday people and everyone that has an idea or has a passion for social good to turn those ideas into social enterprises. Our approach is very simple. We help and start with mindset change, and then provide them with the opportunity to develop skill sets and give them lifelong tools that they can use to continue to build and grow those social enterprises. We strongly believe in the power of quality education, and we we believe that through education, we can solve so many of the problems that the world faces. So the program that the people you will meet today have gone through in a nutshell is 16 weeks of conversations with experts and expert social entrepreneurs and sustainability executives from organizations like IKEA. And they also gained access to a lot of high quality content through our self-paced courses. And we also provided them with one-on group and collective coaching for 90 minutes every other week or every 2 weeks. And at the curriculum they kind of went through covered all of these 7 key objectives, which kind of helped them to think about their ideas, develop business models, and at the end of the day, it culminated into a pitch deck. And we've used this curriculum for over 5,000 learners, and we are so grateful for our partners at the Boots Business School and UBC for helping to co-create the curriculum and our content. So these are the 4 ventures or social enterprises that you'll be meeting with today. They range from solving climate crisis to helping to reduce digital illiteracy, and also in terms of helping to ensure that we all have good and fresh food on our tables. They are already making impact. They've already created 9 jobs within the short period of time, and they are on their way to create even 24 more jobs in 2025. They've made 103,000 in community investments already, and that's expected to grow to about 2.3 million in 2025. They've also started generating revenue up to about 2.3 million generated to date, and that's expected that they would raise about 2.35 million more in 2025. So with that said, I would go out of the way and open the floor for our presenters today. Back to you, Rob.
Thank you, Shogun, and thank you for Impact Toolbox for partnering with myself, Community Futures East Kootenay, and Purple on this social enterprise pilot. Has gone beyond my wildest dreams of the impact we've been able to make beyond just entrepreneurial mindset to actual for great organizations making impact in our rural communities. So Dawn, are you good to go now? We will, perfect, I'm gonna set my, so just so you know, everyone as well, that everyone has, each pitch has 10 minutes. I will have a timer going in my screen to help them. I'll give them a reminder at 9 minutes, just so you all know as well. So we kind of do keep to time. This is based in Fernie, and I'm going to hand over to Dawn for you to go.
Hi there. Can you hear me? Yes. Oh, yes. Wonderful. Hello. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. My name is Dawn Dady, and I'm the founder of Evergreens Farm for Wildsite Elk Valley. Wildsite is an environmental nonprofit that works to protect biodiversity and encourage sustainable community. Our branch works to cultivate a thriving, knowledgeable, and resilient local food culture in the Elk Valley. Evergreens Farm is Wildsite's second social enterprise. It follows Local, a community-powered local food store that opened in December 2019 and has since sent $750,000 back to local food producers. I'm grateful to have this opportunity to share with you today. Evergreens Farm is located in Fernie, which is the only Canadian municipality completely surrounded by the Rocky Mountains. Our small mountain town has a very short growing season of just 90 frost-free growing days. Our farm is located on City of Fernie land at the Community Eco Garden in Prentice Park. With such a limited growing season, Fernie has no year-round food production, and most of the leafy greens available in our grocery stores travel long distances via a very resource-intensive food system. The continued rising costs mean that food is not available to everyone in our community, and they're not able to afford fresh, nutritious food. All across Canada, in fact, visits to food banks continue to increase, yet most food bank hampers don't include much fresh food. Evergreens Farms aims to meet these challenges and strengthen Fernie's food system by increasing access to local leafy greens year-round. Our social enterprise works towards Sustainable Development Goal number 2 to alleviate hunger, improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. Each week, a portion of our harvest goes to the Fernie Food Bank to support community members experiencing food insecurity. We help the food bank increase the amount of fresh food provided in up to 80 hampers each month and provide leafy greens to the weekly senior food share events. We also work towards Sustainable Development Goal number 12, responsible consumption and production. Our hydroponically grown, pesticide-free lettuce uses 90% less water than conventionally grown lettuce. Plus, our leafy greens are delivered the day they are harvested via our refrigerated electric van. After 5 years of planning and securing $375,000 in grant funding, we had our first harvest in July 2024 and are expecting to be in full operation by the end of October. At capacity, we will harvest over 600 heads of leafy greens each and every week year-round. Currently, we are growing 6 types of lettuce, 2 types of arugula, baby kale, basil, and cilantro. Our ultra-fresh leafy greens are purchased by 2 local Fernie restaurants, the Bridge Bistro and the Loaf. And our hyper-local pesticide-free spring mix is sold in 2 Fernie grocery stores, Eldo Independent Grocer and Local, with another grocery store expected to come on soon. We sell a portion of our produce to cover the operational costs of the farm, which also allows us to donate produce to support our at-risk food insecure community members. Evergreens Farm also offers community engagement opportunities with weekly volunteer shifts. Volunteers help us bag, label, and pack the leafy greens that are then distributed to our community. Excuse me. We are also looking forward to launching our school-based education program in future months. Although we only have 3 months of growing under our belts, we are already seeing the impact. With 39 kilograms of leafy greens donated to the food bank and over 149 kilograms produced. We aim to positively impact our community by building a stronger local food system and by providing a dependable, year-round, nutritious local food source and improving nutrition for food bank users. To grow and thrive, our new social enterprise still needs support. We are looking to raise funds and improve operational efficiencies with the addition of a reverse osmosis water purification system, emergency power, and future fundraising will also help us connect our grow unit to municipal water and sewer services and install a solar power system. The more efficient we are in growing the greens means the larger our food bank donations will be. The farm will also greatly benefit from additional food producer wage subsidy programs, which have previously made a substantial difference in reducing our highest operational cost, labor. We are proud to offer hyper-local, ultra-fresh, leafy greens that stay good longer to support our community. Thank you to Etsy, Community Futures, and Impact Toolbox for this opportunity to share our story. And good luck to the incredible social enterprises that follow. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. And thank you for keeping to time. Amazing. If you just stop sharing your screen, I'll get the next one up and running. Thank you, Dawn. I know it's a huge amount of work you've been put into over years. I have been able to see that by living here in Fernie, and it's so great to see this social enterprise having the impact it's already having and what will happen going forward. So next we have Seb from Cranbrook, who is going to talk about his 9:30 IT. We are going to have, as I said, time at the end for you to go and talk to all these social enterprises. If you have any questions, you can add them in the chat now or just write them down, but you will have a chance to hear more and ask your questions of these amazing social entrepreneurs. So Seb, do you want to share your screen? I'm gonna.
Yes, I will share my screen.
And Dawn's even giving you a bit of extra time potentially, so we're good to go. But I'm going to start the timer as well, and I'll stop talking.
Thank you all for coming here today and to listen to us, and thanks for the guys that worked with us in the last couple months to get this all sorted. Let's start. So my for-profit business, Kootenay Computers, started a computer donation program years ago. We had refugee families coming to the region. They had to leave everything behind. And we saw an opportunity to get used hardware and software repurposed and donated them to those families. We saw a need in the community that there was a lot of local families that had that need as well. So we started collecting more computers. And that's been growing and growing and growing. And we've been working with strong partners like Tech, like School District 5, School District 6. And we came up with a idea for social enterprise. This idea needed to be bigger than just something that happened on the side of our desks. So we started Hard Work Society with help of the organizations today that we're talking to. And Hard Work Society is the social, is the non-for-profit. And we started 930 IT as a social enterprise. The social enterprise 930 IT is located on Baker Street in Cranbrook. This Friday, we're having our grand opening party. So everybody who's in the region or close by, show up after work. There's live music, there's snacks and drinks and whatever. It's going to be a party. But we are focusing to fight digital literacy. It affects all age groups. We have older people that are not used to technology that we're going to help in getting used to the technology. Not knowing is often scary, so people are afraid to use digital forms of banking or communicating with family. We see with younger kids that they are overusing their technology for not always the best purposes. They assume competence. It's not a real skill that we see. There's a lot of misinformation going around, and that's just not helping. It creates a digital divide. And in nowadays with work, you need to be skilled to be an attractant for employers. So that's what we're focusing on. Our approach is we want to play a crucial role in enhancing digital literacy for all ages. But I said elderly people, younger people, and everybody in between. We have a lot of students that go to school that don't have the means to buy a good laptop. We provide one, we support, we warranty. The skill development empowers those people and help them make informed choices and make them more successful in life. The efforts in education and training play a crucial role in bridging us that divide, and it ensures access to digital opportunities for everyone. So now we have a store open on 930 Baker Street. The next steps will be that we'll have our course development ready. We're gonna do digital safety courses for elderly people. We're gonna do skill training for young students. We're looking at robotics. We're looking at other tech, light programming, and try to have a good connection with the schools here. We're going to make everybody feel welcome and heard, and there's going to be a good connection between where the skill level is for them now and where they're going to be hopefully in the near future. And we go to the next one. Target market will be the greater Kootenay area. With our donations, we've reached all the way up to Sparwood, to Elkford, Kimberley, Creston, so everywhere, and we're looking for new areas to go to. We will focus on the tech training of people. We will supply all the hardware needed for the trainings, and we have tech service, and we have advice. If people come in, actually, and this is happening in the last couple of weeks, we had parents come in saying that their kids want to build technology, build a new computer, don't know how. It's an investment. So we take them along and we help them build their technology here in a safe environment where it's less obvious for it to go wrong. Okay, next one. Okay, so our revenue streams will be product sales, repair services, tech support, and our trainings. Next one. And so there's nobody here that offers what we want to offer, and I feel very blessed that we have the opportunity to do this. We want to make sure everybody stays up to date with technology trends. We provide excellent customer service. We offer low cost, high quality hardware. We have loads of laptops ready to go for businesses, for students, for anybody who has a need. We can have an answer for them. We're going to employing people that are harder to employ. We've been working for the last 6 years with people in that category, and we train those people. We give them a solid skill set so they can grow on into new careers themselves. We're going to offer the offering in our workshops. There's no focused workshops in the community right now, and we work with we have good connections with bigger tech companies like Tech and like school district and like the city of Cranbrook. We work with them on a weekly basis, and we are in good contact. And we're going to prep people that are very interesting for them. So our impact. I'm gonna skip that one. Our impact, we're going to increase the digital adoption and safe use of technology by young and old. Community members demonstrating high confidence and increase in digital knowledge and skills. That's one of the impacts. Yeah, we're going to help everybody be more successful in the work due to the skills that they have. And we're going to keep a lot of computers out of the landfill. Normally, so for companies to be as green as possible, they need a cradle to a grave setup where they are responsible for all the items they use in their companies. And with working with us, they can say, okay, after we worked with them, after so many years, we donate them to a good cause, and they will make sure that or they're going to be repurposed or they're going to be recycled. Let's go to the next slide. We directly contribute to 6 sustainable development goals: the climate actions, the reduced inequalities, the decent work and economic growth, quality education, sustainable cities and communities, and industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And we actively employ individuals from historical and underrepresented and marginalized groups that has faced significant employment challenges. Our team, so now we have 4 people active in the store. We're working on number 5 and 6. So top left is the most important one. That's Super Sean, and Super Sean has been working for the community, for the computer donation program for the last 6 years. And he, like anything in the store, is somehow touched by him. Doesn't matter what his task is, he's always there. He's always having a great time. We had funding before. Unfortunately, we had to stop that because we ran out of funding. But with the new store opening, now he's back, and yeah, so we're so happy.
Just 1 minute reminder, Seb.
Yeah, Robert is beneath him, sorry, lower left corner, and he's brilliant. His tech skills are I know nobody who is as tech skilled as him. And Cam and I, we are in the background, we are guiding Robert and Sean to make this to a success. So I'm gonna end here. This is I'm out of time. Otherwise, I'm gonna mess it up. So thank you all for listening, and yeah, thanks all for help.
So Sebastian, what time is it on Friday? 9:30 Baker Street, Cranbrook.
After 6.
After 6, join the party for the social enterprise. Oh, sorry, that was me. Stop. We should stop for. Join the social enterprise support in Baker Street in Cranbrook. Thank you so much, Seb. Do you want to stop sharing your screen? And we're going to get Kevin from Core Rehab coming up next. And Core's been around for a few years, but the rehab is just in its starting phase. So Kevin, over to you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kevin Pennock, and I am the Executive Director of CORE, Kootenay Outdoor Recreation Enterprise. We're 4 years old, and we are a collective of outdoor gear makers and outdoor gear designers in the Kootenays. We've been receiving funding from government grants for the first 4 years to allow us to start, to grow, but we're looking at what can we do for sustainable funding to help us create our future. And that future, we believe, is the rehab. Now, there we go. So what is the rehab? We want the rehab to be the Kootenay hub for outdoor gear circularity. And this really came out of personal need from myself. So I was having a hard time. Where do I get my outdoor gear fixed? Where can I sell my outdoor gear? Where can I buy outdoor gear? It really were no solutions. It was few and far between. But this is a much, much bigger problem than just Kevin Pennock's personal issues. It's a global problem. So a lot of it's based on consumption, and a lot of it's based on how products are designed. So globally, you can see the statistics as far as what textile waste and carbon footprint impact is globally. Right now, a lot of outdoor products are designed without thinking of the end of the life in mind. And over time, that will change. But in the meantime, we have a major, major problem to fix as far as the consumption that's been going on and what do we do with it. So what's the opportunity? In the Kootenays, I am not alone. I mean, if there was a per capita study as far as outdoor gear users in the Kootenays, I bet we would win Canada-wide. So there's huge opportunity of people like myself that need to get gear fixed and need to get gear to buy and sell. So what is the rehab? What is our vision? It would be both a hybrid repair program where we would collect gear throughout the Kootenays. It would get fixed. It would go back to customer. Potentially, we would do a online marketplace and working with existing consignment stores as far as brick and mortar reselling. The big one is the rethinking as far as you don't need that new jacket. You don't need that new pair of skis. You can fix or refurbish the apparel that you have and keep it going longer. And rethinking is also working with our collective of outdoor gear designers and outdoor gear, the whole RecTech sector, as far as thinking about the product design and the end of the life at the very beginning of the design phase. Repurposing would be, an example would be Kuma, who we work with. They are a very large car camping brand based out of Edmonton. They have thousands of units of chairs that they sell every year. A lot of these chairs cannot get fixed, and what do they do with them? It's stacking up in their warehouse. We're looking at proposing a repurposing facility in the Kootenays, where we would repurpose it into something of another product, like a firewood sling, a dog bed, something like that. What's our value proposition? So on the repair side, I think I'm not alone. If you're working with a big brand, trying to find out where to get something repaired is a big black hole and a huge void. There's no one to talk to. It's all digital. In our case, you're talking to a gear geek is talking to other gear geeks as far as someone's going to pick up the phone and talk to you. It's local, it's grassroots, it's Kootenay wide, it's local drop-offs, and eventually we'll have the capability to do the very high-end tier 1 repairs. Our business model would be repair fees, donations, and sponsorships as far as big brands that want to support us. We did a pilot project in Revelstoke this year in May. They had a community event called Refest. Patagonia was there the year before. So as we developed the pop-up repair service for the Refest, we worked with Patagonia, and they highly supported that this nonprofit out of the Kootenays was wanting to do what they typically do with their Patagonia reworn repair vehicle on more of a summer-wide basis. So how do we measure this? We want to create a mind shift that you don't need that new jacket with the new color. What you have works just fine. Just get it fixed, just repair it. Part of what we need to do is to organize the existing sewers that are in the Kootenays, help them grow and raise the bar as far as their skill set, and making the Kootenays become the #1 most recognized region in Canada for outdoor gear circularity, and making it easier for people to buy and sell gear. Part of our long-term impact is getting buy-in from stakeholders like municipalities, regional districts, the waste transfer stations. Because the problem is not just apparel and soft goods and textiles, it's hard goods such as bikes. What do you do with end-of-life bike? What do you do with your end-of-life mountain bike tires? What do you do with those old ski boots that are sitting in your garage that are plastic? Our rehab addresses all these different SDG goals by the UN. And to date, we have received a lot of support to actually go to phase 1 from SCBC, from the province of BC, both for the Red Up program with the Jedi Ministry to develop the whole rehab concept. And recently, just last week, it was announced that we have $175,000 and $40,000 from SCBC to go to phase 1 of the outdoor gear repair tour for summer 2025. So that would be going to 18 locations next summer with a industrial sewing trailer with 2 sewers, all the materials, all the supplies. And we're working with Selkirk College to do a pilot project for hard goods repair. So for example, your ski pole might have a thread on the bottom that's broken. Working with Selkirk College with their stack, they would 3D print or 3D scan the good part and 3D print the new part to keep hard goods in circulation longer. So that's a very quick overview of what CORE's vision is as far as the rehab to keep gear out of the landfill and keep gear in use longer. Thanks for the opportunity to share.
Thank you, Kevin. Another great opportunity, and just starting out, but when we do the breakout group, if you want to be one of the communities where CORE comes to, maybe do your pitch to Kevin when we have the breakout group, because as I said, that's the first step next year, is that tour through communities before the rehab starts. So great to get that started. Now I have to do my calls and cancel, so I don't get the timer going. And then last but definitely not least, we have Sophie again from Cranbrook talking about the Food Innovation Centre that Community Connections is getting ready to set up. So I'm going to hand over to you, Sophie.
Thank you very much, Robin. I'm very excited to share with you our Food Innovation Center. But before I get started, I really want to say a big thank you to Robin and Shagan. The last 6 months has been influential in developing our idea and developing our social enterprise. So thanks very much for that. So I'm Sophie Larson. I work for Community Connection Society, and we do run some food system programs already. Community Connection is a charitable nonprofit looking to improve the well-being of the community. And the programs are diverse. The ones that I focus on are food specific, in particular, food recovery, community meals, farm kitchen, and the public produce garden. And in the last few years, we've seen a huge increase in the amount of need for food aid support. So now more than ever, we know that there is a need for a sustainable food system. And that has brought on our idea of developing a food innovation center. This center will provide both infrastructure and services to support a spectrum of food systems players. We know that our programs at CCS are ready to grow, but they can't under their current facility constraints. And we also know that the problem is large, beyond just the supports we can provide. We'll need multifaceted collaborative solutions to this larger problem. And the Food Innovation Center will work to address some of these. So we will be able to support food producers in meeting the rising interest in local food. We will be able to help community organizations like ourselves to meet the heightened demand for food aid support. And we will also be able to support the necessity of our entire community for a more sustainable food system. So the problem is big. Our food system is broken, or at least very flawed. And we see this affecting both producers, the individuals growing food, but as well as ourselves, the consumers. We see this through increasing prices at the grocery store, decreasing wages for those food producers. We see high rates of waste, food waste in particular, and this has resulted in vulnerability and interruptions to our food system. Now, if we look at this problem in a little bit more depth and look at some of the numbers, it has been reported that 1/3 of all food produced is wasted. Now, this is from fields to fridge. And when you think of that high number, it's pretty scary to think of. But this also, we have to think about the resources wasted that went into producing that food. When you pair that with the fact that 12.5% of BC residents are experiencing food insecurity, we can see that the problem is large. And then if we add on top of that, that 80 to 95% of the food we consume in BC is imported, we can see that the problem is quite large. Now, not to say that imported food is bad, but it does come with a larger carbon footprint and more vulnerability to interruptions. So we face this problem every day at CCS, and we realize that the programs we run are ready to grow, but they can't within their current facility constraints. Nor will we be able to solve this problem on our own. It's huge, and we'll need the support of numerous different aspects of the food system. So the solution is through our innovation center, which will be comprised of a commercial kitchen space that will increase the production of local food. It'll be rentable to local food producers. It'll be a very flexible space and available to those individuals 24 hours a day. The facility will also include a teaching kitchen, so it can increase the amount of food literacy workshops given. The Food Innovation Center will include a warehouse space, both dry and cold storage, so that we can increase the capacity of the food we can grow, increase the storage capacity of the food that we do grow seasonally. We're also looking at an alternative distribution or storefront model, so it can increase the access of local food. The facility will include a dining hall. We are really keen to have community come together and celebrate over food. And last but not least, this space will include offices for business support and learning and working. Now, for the sake of time, I think I'll just talk about the outcomes of our theory of change, which will be an increase in food production, an increase in access of this food, as well as an increase in the number of local food entrepreneurs. This will be felt through numerous segments of our community, including farmers market vendors, small scale food producers, community members experiencing food insecurity, as well as community members at large, and those food aid organizations within our community. Our programs already being run at CCS will benefit through an increase in efficiencies by housing them all under one roof. Now, the Food Innovation Center will primarily use a business-to-business revenue model in the first phase. Revenues will come in through the rental of the commercial kitchen as well as office rentals. But in subsequent phases, we will have additional revenue streams through our warehousing, the alternative storefront, food business supports, as well as workshops. There will be numerous ways for us to measure the social impact, but one of the most imminent is the amount of meals that Cranbrook Food Recovery will be able to produce. There is significant potential for this program to grow, but it can't because of the constraints of its facility currently. It's currently producing about 20,000 meals a year, and as soon as it moves into a larger facility, it will be able to at least double these numbers. Those numbers will increase hugely as soon as it's in a facility that can house it, our Food Innovation Center. Now, our social impacts are strongly related to the Sustainable Development Goals, and the UN states that sustainable food systems don't just help to end hunger, they can help to achieve progress on all 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Our Food Innovation Center is strongly tied to SDG 2, like Dawn's presentation, to end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition, as well as SDG 12, responsible consumption. Our food recovery program shares the exact same goal as SDG 12.3 to reduce food waste. So our team is small but mighty. We have our chef Scott, who is amazing in the kitchen. Our food intern, Marley, who has been with us for almost a year, and then my colleague Meredith and I are co-leading this innovation center. We are greatly supported by a huge network of volunteers who work within our programs and the wider community connection staff. We do have a timeline for our innovation center. We have finished phase 1, the development of a business plan, and we are in phase 2. We are in the process of acquiring a facility. We're on the hunt and we're looking for that. And we hope that happens soon so we can move on with our next phases. So where we are looking to raise $2.5 million for this project to cover the costs of property acquisition, renovations, the business plan, and staff and operations for year 1. We currently have 1.3 confirmed. We're anticipating 400,000 in other grants, and we're still need 700,000 more to realize the project in full. So with that, I ask the attendees here to think of this project and think of grant opportunities. Let us know about any way that you might be able to support this project. But the other ask is more related to commercial real estate in Cranbrook. It is a tight market, and a lot of those commercial buildings sell before they get to market. So if you hear anything about a commercial building that's centrally located in Cranbrook, 6,000 to 10,000 square feet, we'd love to hear about it. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to talking about the project more.
Amazing. Thank you, Sophie. I'll let you stop sharing your screen. I just want to thank the 4 entrepreneurs so much for all your hard work over the last 6 months. Well, actually, the last probably 6 to 10 years for most of you that have actually just, you've had some support for the last 6 months to really maybe move the dial a little bit more. And just the change in mindset. Sophie, I know you and I have talked many times, and just to be able to talk, the different wording is amazing to see. So thank you, Impact Toolbox, for guiding them for the last 4 months. Thank you for Purple for helping us in the beginning phases of the roundtable to get all these people together who are interested in social enterprises. And thank you to Etsy BC for funding this pilot project. We are now going to go into, stop recording firstly.